Happening right now, people are rallying downtown to support federal scientists impacted by recent mass layoffs. It is noon on this Monday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. This all comes after the Department of Government Efficiency plans to lay off more people at the Environmental Protection Agency and at NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. CBS 8's Shannon Handy downtown tracking today's march.
That rally is taking place here outside the federal courthouse downtown. Behind me, you can see dozens of people, many of them holding signs related to how these cuts will affect our environment and our future. Now, this morning's rally follows other similar ones that have happened in recent days, both here in San Diego and across the country.
What do we do?
On Friday, about 1,000 people gathered at UC San Diego to protest cuts to scientific research funding. Since taking office, President Trump has halted federal funding to various organizations and causes, including NOAA and the EPA. He's also slashed thousands of federal jobs. The Trump administration projects that the cuts could save billions of dollars and help address the national debt. But those out here who oppose them say the threat to our future will wind up costing more.
If we are unable to address the climate crisis now, all our children and our grandchildren are going to be living in a hotter, much more dangerous world that affects their health and their ability to make a living. I also just want to say that we don't have to accept that. You know, we want people to come out here and join us because we need to do what's right for ourselves and for our kids.
Back out here, the plan is to have people speak at the podium, and then they plan to march over to the federal building, which is nearby, followed by a march to City Hall. So we will monitor everything and bring you the very latest in later editions of CBS 8. For now, that is the latest from downtown. I'll send it back to you.
Well, today people are criticizing the president and his Department of Government Efficiency for its cuts to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and to the EPA.
CBS 8's Shannon Handy joins us live from downtown, where a large rally was just held a few hours ago. Shannon.
Carlo and Anna, dozens of people gather here outside the federal courthouse to protest those cuts. From here, they marched over to the nearby federal building and then over to City Hall to voice their concerns. They say these cuts aren't just impacting all of us right now, but our future generations as well.
I don't know if Trump really believes in climate change or not. What he does believe in is making as much money as possible before the consequences of his often shaky business schemes truly kick in.
We cannot let this happen. We won't let this happen. Our literal planet is under attack, and these are terrifying times.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Since taking office, President Trump's administration has halted federal funding to various organizations and causes, including NOAA and the EPA. DOGE has also eliminated thousands of jobs. Just today, it was reported NOAA, which monitors the atmosphere, weather, and climate, will likely shrink by up to 20%. This morning's rally follows other similar ones that have happened in recent days, both here in San Diego and across the country. On Friday, about 1,000 people gathered at UC San Diego to protest cuts to scientific research funding. The Trump administration projects the cuts could save billions of dollars and help address the national debt. But those out here today oppose them, saying the threat to our future will wind up costing more by impacting people's overall safety and health.
We are unable to address the climate crisis now. All our children and our grandchildren are going to be living in a hotter, much more dangerous world that affects their health and their ability to make a living.
Now, we did not see any counter-protesters out here today. There were some federal officers who came out from the federal building behind me to monitor the situation, but today's rally remained peaceful.
San Diegans pushing to protect the people who protect the planet. Thank you for joining us on this Monday evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt, and Wally Aliu is off. A large rally was held downtown today protesting cuts to the EPA and NOAA. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco brings us the demonstrators' concerns.
They're standing up and fighting back against what they call an attack on our planet. Nearly 200 people marched throughout downtown San Diego Monday to protest massive cuts to the Environmental Protection Agency and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
We're really concerned, at the university level, all the way down to, environmental health, our local watersheds. I mean, it's going to affect society on every level, and we're worried about, future generations.
Frances Lang's 4-year-old daughter, Florence, is part of that generation.
This is the future right here in Florence. She loves animals. We love all animals. We talk a lot about, pollution. We do litter cleanups in our neighborhood. And we want to make sure she can inherit a clean, healthy planet.
We are out here right now because we're not okay with how the federal government is treating the workers that protect us every day.
The White House says President Trump is committed to eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in all federal agencies. Hundreds of employees have been let go from both the EPA and NOAA, with more expected. The protesters worry about the impact on forecasting natural disasters like wildfires.
We've got the most biodiverse county in the world, and so we've got species we need to protect. We've got microclimates that could be exacerbated by climate change. We're not too far from LA, where we saw some of the worst wildfires.
San Diego's National Weather Service office has not been impacted by the cuts. Reporting downtown, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Protesters took to the streets of downtown San Diego today to shine light on what they call a life and death situation. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. They're demanding the Trump administration take action to fight climate change and to start by rehiring recently fired employees of the EPA. KPBS reporter John Carroll was there.
Our leaders, who are supposed to protect us, are currently rolling back eco-friendly policy, and they are firing the workers that stand in their way.
The Environmental Protection Agency was founded in 1970 by Republican President Richard Nixon. These protesters say another Republican president, Donald Trump, is trying to ruin it.
We're just fed up with what the Trump administration has been doing, attacking our communities, their climate.
Shane Petkowitz volunteers with the climate action group San Diego 350.
We're here to support, one, the EPA workers that have been fired. We're here to protest against the Trump administration's efforts to undermine climate action.
Hey, ho, ho. Climate deniers have got to go.
The protesters marched first to a spot outside the Edward J. Schwartz courthouse. There, retired EPA employee David Fagey urged the crowd to raise their voices in support of his former colleagues who are still on the job.
They're on the third floor on the other side of the building. They still didn't hear you. One more time.
From a place representing federal power, they marched to the seat of municipal power, San Diego City Hall, where we heard more from Fagey.
Urge this administration to put EPA back on its feet, that they want clean water, they want clean air, they want climate change attended to, and they don't like what's going on.
These protesters say they won't stop until the firings of EPA employees are rolled back. Because, as they say, a lot of their signs say, there is no Planet B. John Carroll, KPBS News.
We turn now to downtown San Diego, where dozens of people were seen protesting the layoffs and cuts DOGE has been placing on key environmental agencies.
All right, Zara Barker joins us live from downtown, where that demonstration took place. Zara?
Phil, Christina, that demonstration and protest started and ended here right behind me in downtown San Diego, outside of the federal building. It ended just a couple of hours ago. They say they are standing in solidarity and marching and protest in response to the cuts we are seeing from the EPA and NOAA.
Powerful winds created the perfect storm for disaster.
On the heels of cuts to the EPA and NOAA. A protest in San Diego Monday aiming to stand up and defend federal workers.
It's difficult. I have many friends and colleagues who are, experiencing some, frankly, traumatic times right now, and almost a feeling of guilt. I left.
David Fagey emotional discussing the cuts to the department he retired from in 2016.
I was a proud employee for EPA for 35 years.
He helped open the EPA's San Diego border office in 1994 and believes there's going to be local impacts from these cuts.
In our regional office, we have folks that work on air quality in the San Diego region, on water quality, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And so the impact will be you're going to see just less work, as it were, simply because you have less money, fewer people.
Under the Trump administration, the EPA has cut its spending by $287 million from canceled grants and contracts. And there's talks of deeper cuts to the EPA and NOAA, despite already letting go of more than 1,000 employees.
By destroying, dismantling, and potentially even removing these agencies, what we're facing is a world where there are there's no protections for corporations to pollute the waters, to pollute the air, because we've seen it before. This is why the agencies were started in the first place.
Similar protests have been held by groups nationwide.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Climate deniers have got to go!
On Monday, local protesters started at the federal building, marched through downtown to City Hall, and signed a thank you card to federal workers.
I'm sure there's many employees who feel abandoned, and I hope that they take heart that the public is behind them.
And it's not directly clear yet how many cuts have been made at our local EPA and NOAA or National Weather Service offices here in San Diego. Reporting live downtown, Zara Barker, Fox 5 News.
Buenas tardes, así es, los manifestantes me dicen que esto podría impactar el medio ambiente, ya que las personas que quieren despedir son trabajadores que buscan soluciones, buscan mejorar el medio ambiente, por eso exigen un alto, no solamente a líderes locales, también federales. Cantos, carteles y una tarjeta gigante de agradecimiento. Así fue como decenas de personas mostraron su apoyo a los trabajadores que luchan por defender el medio ambiente. Los manifestantes marcharon por el centro de San Diego cargando carteles que decían: no dejes que Trump incendie nuestro planeta y sin ciencia no hay futuro.
Trump ha rechazado a mucha gente de las agencias que cuidan el clima de la planeta. Y este Trump solamente lo importante para él es el dinero.
Esta manifestación surge como respuesta a los recientes despidos en agencias como la Administración Nacional Oceánica y Atmosférica y la Agencia de Protección Ambiental.
Aquí tenemos 10 o 12 empleados trabajando para la EPA en el edificio federal. Y no sabemos exactamente, pero hay una posibilidad que ya que sean como despedidos.
Según informes recientes, más de 1,000 empleados de NOAA han sido despedidos como parte de los esfuerzos de la administración Trump por reducir la fuerza laboral federal en un 20% este año.
A nivel nacional han dicho que hasta 80% de todos los empleados del EPA, entonces es un número enorme, entonces estamos muy preocupados.
Estos recortes han generado preocupación sobre los riesgos potenciales para la investigación climática y la seguridad pública.
Nos impactan todos, ¿verdad? El cambio climático no solo es el medio ambiente que está muy lejos, está en nuestras comunidades, son las inundaciones que están ocurriendo en San Diego, son los incendios, es el aire que estamos respirando, el agua que estamos bebiendo.
Los organizadores esperan que esta manifestación envíe un mensaje claro a los líderes políticos sobre la importancia de mantener y apoyar las agencias que protegen el medio ambiente.
Estamos cansados de lo que está haciendo la administración del presidente Trump, está atacando a nuestras comunidades.
Varias organizaciones a lo largo del condado se unieron a esta manifestación. Otra está programada para el 3 de mayo.
Debido a los recientes despidos masivos bajo la administración Trump a la Administración Oceanográfica y Atmosférica Nacional, con aproximadamente el despido del 20% de su plantilla, así también el 65% del presupuesto de la Agencia de Protección Ambiental, mejor conocida como EPA, es que esta mañana decenas de residentes de San Diego se manifestaron frente a la Corte Federal en San Diego en contra de estos recortes que mencionan afectarán de gran manera a la actual crisis ambiental por contaminación de aguas residuales al sur del condado, entre otras situaciones relacionadas con la protección a la calidad ambiental.
En San Diego nos va a impactar. Hay una oficina federal en la ciudad de San Diego donde trabajan como 10 o 12 personas en la EPA. Ellos se encargan de mejorar el tratamiento de las aguas residuales en Tijuana. Entonces, si ellos que no van a estar trabajando, ese esfuerzo se va a minimizar.
El Servicio Nacional de Meteorología es un referente de pronósticos para Estados Unidos, el Mar Caribe y los océanos Pacífico y Atlántico. Expertos afirman que los despidos por recortes recortes del gasto federal pondrán en riesgo a las comunidades ante eventos y desastres naturales como los incendios forestales ocurridos a principios de este año en Los Ángeles y San Diego.
Here, NOAA houses the National Weather Service, which can help warn communities about incoming fires, incoming hurricanes. So if we lose that warning system, then those communities are at even more risk. And so they're just getting more and more compounding damage from this injustice that's happening at all sides.
Los recortes son una medida impulsada por el Departamento de Eficiencia Gubernamental, mejor conocido como DOGE, de Elon Musk, para reducir la burocracia federal. NOAA cuenta con un presupuesto anual de poco menos de $7,000 millones. El presidente Donald Trump afirmó que en esa agencia hay mucha gente que no estaba haciendo su trabajo y empleados que obstruyen las labores del organismo. Exempleados y fundadores de EPA en San Diego se muestran preocupados, ya que afirman su labor era extensa, aún sin el recorte presupuestal.
And our job was to bring information to people on the border what EPA and the Mexican government were doing in terms of improving air quality, improving water quality.
Activistas locales confirman mantener la lucha con nuevas manifestaciones el próximo mes. Así también planean enviar cartas a los representantes locales sobre esta situación. Para KSDY Noticias, reportó Maciel Chaidez.